Happy Monday. Thank you for joining News with Nana. I just a couple of things because the reveal from Arizona seems to be like swept under the rug in mainstream media. They did their little spin take on that. They did their little spick and span, clean it up for the people, and then like washed it under the rug. So now we've got other things to occupy your mind. And I just find it really funny. I found this was like the most interesting piece. So if you go to Mid-Mich or NBC, it's Mid-Michigan News. And there's like really, let me go back. There's really nothing local. Oh, really? Let me try that again. So you go to Mid-Michigan News and you're looking, and this is like local stuff. It's really nothing. We knew about her signing the budget. We knew about all this other katush. So we go down here and they've got, Milli Vanilli. That's one I might look into. But what intrigued me more, because we know what happens, those flake, flake, flake flags. That's what I was trying to say. But I guess that's a trigger word I need to be aware of. So I was watching and uh, Increasing Intuition, Michael Jaco, and he had this great thing he did with his son, Michelangelo, that talked. It was really cool. Anyways, look him up. You'll see. But this I find very interesting. Do you know who John Hinckley is? Well, let me just show you. John Hinckley, if I'm not mistaken, according to what I've read, John Hinckley shot Ronald Reagan. So here it says a federal judge said Monday that John Hinckley Jr., who tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan 4 decades ago, can be freed from all his remaining restrictions next year if he continues to follow those rules and remains mentally stable. See that? Yeah, that's going to happen. So the U.S. District Judge Court, Paul L. Friedman, I can never determine how to say those names. I apologize for hacking it. In Washington, said during a 90-minute court hearing that he'll issue his ruling on the plan next week. Oh boy. Friedman said the plan is to release Hinckley from all court supervision in June of next year if he remains mentally stable and continues to follow the court-issued rules that were imposed on him after he left Washington Hospital in 2016 to live in Williamsburg, Virginia. This is a breaking news update. AP's earlier story follows below. So lawyers are scheduled to meet in federal court Monday to discuss whether John Hinckley Jr., the man who tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan, should be freed from court imposed restrictions, including overseeing his medical care and keeping up with his computer passwords. So all of a sudden, we have this dude like totally locked down, and all of a sudden we're saying, let's just go ahead, let it go. So since Hinckley, 66, moved to Virginia from Washington in 2016, the court-imposed conditions have included doctors and therapists overseeing his psychiatric medication and deciding how often he attends individual and group therapy sessions. Hinckley also can't have a gun. Well, that's kind of like a no-brainer, wouldn't you think? And he can't contact Reagan's children, other victims, or their families, or actress Jodie Foster, who he was obsessed with at the time of the 1981 shooting. See, in 81, I was in middle school. I didn't graduate till 88. So I don't recall all of the nitty gritty of this. So this is very interesting to read to me because, I'm taking this as a grain of salt and considering the source. So a status conference is scheduled for Monday before the judge. Attorney Barry Levine has asked for unconditional release, saying Hinckley no longer poses a threat. A 2020 violence risk assessment conducted on behalf of Washington's Department of Behavioral Health concluded that Hinckley would no longer pose a danger. The U.S. government opposed ending restrictions as of May court filing and retained an expert to determine whether or not Hinckley would pose a danger to himself or others if unconditionally released. Findings from such an examination have not been filed in court. Hinckley was 25 when he shot and wounded the 40th U.S. president outside a Washington hotel. The shooting paralyzed Reagan press secretary James Brady, who died in 2014. It also injured Secret Service agent Timothy McCarthy and Washington police officer Thomas Delahanty. Jurors decided Hinckley was suffering from acute psychosis and found him not guilty by reason of insanity, saying he needed further treatment and not life in prison. Well, folks, I take a little dramatic pause there because watch this name and watch the news in the upcoming weeks. If they do let him go and do not monitor him like he should, because anybody else, let me just say any Joe Schmo like you or me, if we had been by reason of insanity and were found not guilty because of psychosis, we would not be allowed to roam free. And I don't think he should. I'm sorry for what's going on with him and such. But obviously what happened, he didn't just go after the 40th president of the United States. He obviously has issues with, superstars. So if they let him go, now you have Jodie Foster, who's I hope she pitches a fit about this, because then you're putting her back in danger if has an obsession with her and he gets off of his meds, stops going to this or that, and they don't monitor his computer use or anything like that. There's issues. And I can't believe that this judge is like, okay, it's like romper room. If I ask my 5-year-old grand, somebody hurts somebody, she'd be like, no, killing somebody is wrong. We know that, and I'm sorry that they called the claim psychosis and it was okay, but it's wrong. And if there's somebody is seriously that ill, that mentally ill, that would make them go on a spree, I don't think you should just let him roam the farm free. Better put a tether on him. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So that's it for right now. I'm going to do just a few because I couldn't really find anything that interesting today. But then again, my mind is I'm very tired. I do apologize. We canned tomatoes over the weekend. So Saturday morning, aside from my flat tire, I went to my brother's house, and his wife and I did tomatoes, but we didn't finish $150 worth of tomatoes Saturday, so I had to go back Sunday. And thank God my folks showed up at my brother's house, and my nephew and his wife showed up at his house to assist us, because I didn't leave there until almost 7 o'clock, and I think we finally finished about 7. I think they finally finished about 7:30. So yeah, lots of maters. But we're Italian. We go through maters like you wouldn't believe. So, all right, folks, be kind. Remember, knowledge is power. Share that knowledge. United we stand, divided we fall. God bless you. Have a great day.